Lovely. Alrighty, guys. So I wanted to kind of hop on and share my experience with starting an automation business. This is called the blueprint to starting a tech business without investors. I feel that a lot of people overcomplicate it and feel they need to fill many voids within starting a business when it's really just pulling the correct resources and educating yourself in a way that you will not need a 100K budget or investment to actually start a tech company. So, firstly, first point here is that you don't need investors to start a tech business. All right, there's no VCs, no Shark Tank pitches, no suit and tie nonsense. This is 2025, all right, where 17-year-olds are making money off this, right? This is not 10 years ago where you had to go on a Shark Tank show in a suit and tie and pitch your offer, right? I bootstrapped my business from scratch, and I did it while also using free tools. Now, I'm going to be completely transparent here, okay? The tools I use now are not free, okay? I do pay for more premium software versions of the software. These softwares that I will get into to run my automation business, I all started off with either a free plan or the 7-day free trials. But as I have scaled my business, I paid for more, which equals more accessibility to certain little trinkets within a software. So let's start off with the first topic, which is the big myth of funding first. I think most people do think success requires funding first, right? Businesses 10, 20 years ago, you needed a starting capital to actually, start a business, whether it was a product or a service, you needed to pay for developers, a team, or you needed to pay for manufacturers. And, there was a whole 20-step process in order to even start pitching or providing information about your business to get sales, to get conversion rates, right? But we have so many tools nowadays that can just do it for us. And the reality is most funded startups still fail, right? They overcomplicate things. They let the money get to their head. They're trying allocating money here, there, left, right, center, sideways. But they're not thinking about the fundamentals first of starting a tech company, right? Next point is do not build perfect. This is a problem called over-planning, right? My number one rule in business to myself is speed, right? Fail faster, right? Build a first iteration, test it, get some feedback, and then continue to build on that. Build a problem first. You're not going to sell anything if there isn't a problem, right? A solution needs a problem. You can have the best idea in the world, but if it does not solve a specific pain point of whoever you're trying to target, it will not sell, right? So with that, focus on solving and not raising, all right? The more you focus on the end result, on how you can help someone, the more likelihood you are going to sign someone to come within your company, right? So the next point is validation without a product, okay? So this is how I started. I started with a simple Google form, right? Not a whole entire app. And I asked one question. Would this help you, right? I used, for example, a Google form on LinkedIn. And I put up a little questionnaire. And I gave a scenario and a problem. And then I gave a solution. I didn't explain what it was. I didn't say, for example, my offer is an appointment setter, right? I didn't go, oh yes, so this appointment setter does da 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 da, and then it leads to this. I didn't overcomplicate. I said, okay, cool. For example, the appointment setter. I'm like, what if you could increase revenue and profit by 30%, right? Focusing on the end result, boost efficiency, right? Without lifting a finger or having the correct system in place. Would this help you? I can't think of a better example right now. That's probably a shit one, but you get the point, right? So you're not selling your actual offer, the service. You're not selling the system. You're selling pain and you're selling solution, right? You're selling point A to point B, right? And you have to talk to real people. I mean, listen, we have great tools like ChatGPT and YouTube and all this, and people can say it works, but how did they find out it works, right? Which is validation from actual people, right? Where in the beginning, you can start off with free stuff. You're like, listen, man, I have this thing, right? Again, sell your solution and sell the pain. You want to try it out for like a month, right? And then you just need to give me some feedback. If it works, cool. If it doesn't, bet. And then you know what to improve on. You determine your bottlenecks and you move on, right? So talk to real people in forums, groups, DMs, do whatever you can to get some form of feedback. Because then you know what certain things you need to tweak or certain things you need to focus on and what to stick with, okay? So yeah, offer a manual version of the service to test demand, okay? Now, what this means is that you go, okay, cool. Let's say you go to a business. Say, for example, for me, I run a appointment setting agent that does for agencies and all this, from qualifying the lead up until booking an appointment, right? Now, how do I test if this works? How do I test if that specific offer is going to help somebody? Well, I'll tell you how. I am that agent. So manually myself, I will go to an agency and go, what are your qualifying questions? What are your parameters? What do you need a certain client or prospect to have in order for them to get on a sales call with you, right? So now I go to whoever this agency or coach or hospitality group, whoever they're targeting, I go to their niche and I give them and they're interested in the offer. I'll go, okay, cool. So say, for example, one of the qualifying questions is, how much do you have to offer? Like, how much do you have to invest in yourself today, right? And then that agency I'm speaking to will give me a range of how much they need to be earning, right? And then you do general psychology qualifications, like how much time are you willing to put into this, because it's a two-way street, and you keep going with whatever qualifications that needed to be asked for that client to get on board. This is just simply my case, right? But you are doing it yourself manually, so you understand from point A all the way to point Z how that looks like. Yeah? So getting your first 3 clients. This goes back to solutions, the end result. Do not sell the features of your business, right? I'll use my company as an example. I'm not selling what my actual offer does. So if I were to, it would sound a bit like this. Okay, cool. Yeah, I have a AI appointment agent that we prompt. I have a prompt engineer that specifically spends a couple hours on tweaking and defining so that it never makes a mistake. And then we qualify the leads. And then we make sure that you're not wasting time on leads that are, tire kickers that just are curious. And then it goes into sending reminders, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to explain the whole thing, but you get the gist of it. You lose that customer right there and then. They go, okay, shut the fuck up. We don't care. Okay? But on the other side, where you do it, right, you're selling the results. Someone is interested. I'll be like, no, yeah, listen, I have an appointment setter, but essentially how it works is that it will qualify your leads and it will result in boost efficiency and increase your revenue, and you have 20 plus hours for you to focus on other parts of your business, right? So you're really selling what you can expect from it and what rewards you will reap from signing with this certain service or certain agency or anything like that, right? So it's a simple pitch, It's something like, let me prove this works for 30 days, okay? For free. Yes, it's shit, but you're getting validation. And if it does work, and if you really have put your time and effort in delivering your service, they will sign in a heartbeat, right? Now listen, websites are great, logos are great, but everybody focuses it on a bit too much. Okay, using your websites as a funnel, a place of information, is great. Your logo, don't need to be all crazy about it. You know, pick a name, pick a logo that you like. It shouldn't take more than 5 minutes. You need to be promoting clarity and confidence at the end of the day, right? So yes, you need to be outcome focused rather than tech focused. Yes, you are running a tech based company, but people don't give a shit on what and how you do something. They go, okay, cool, you can do it, so prove it, right? They don't give a shit about the tech, especially if they're not in the tech space. Sure, you might get a client here and there who'll be like, okay, cool, yeah, that's pretty cool. That little stack you have is cool, but your chances of that is minimal, right? And then my last point is you need free, valuable education. So the way I'll explain this is something I do, right? If I were to, right now I'm creating content, right? On my YouTube, like this, is free, valuable education. Meaning I can provide value about the back end. I can provide value of the front end. I will even release the entire workflow and show a step-by-step on how to build it. That's fine. But the thing is, the people I'm targeting are people that don't have time to do that, right? So don't feel like you're giving the tricks and the trades of your business away for free and you're losing clients, but doing that, you're creating more competition. The reality of it, you're probably not going to be able to handle more than 20 clients without building a team, right? So, and you're focusing on the beginning stage, right? Don't worry about, you can't, there's probably hundreds of thousands of agencies in the world. You cannot cater to all of them, right? But what you can do, right, is build a done for you system, right? Your free, valuable education is going to sell you, right? Especially using YouTube and your content, or maybe it's Instagram or whatever, as a funnel, right? These guys are any unanswered questions. They just need to watch a couple of your videos and they go, oh, okay, well, that solves that question. So then you do get to a sales call and you're going to ask them, do you have any questions? They're like, no, actually, I understand all of it because, you know, you've made bare videos on it and I can see the value. I can see how it all works, and your onboarding becomes a lot easier as well, right? Because they already have envisioned what it looks like because you've shown them, right? So on the next point is tools to use, right? Now, this is not difficult. Like I said, I do pay for premium versions, but the free or these really cheap ones, that's all you need really, right? So your validation, which is your feedback. You can use something like Google Forms, Typeform. Honestly, you can use WAP, you can use a lot of things, but I'm just giving a couple examples here. Your SOPs and your onboarding, Notion, WAP, right? Live chats, you can do on WAP, or you can do YouTube Live, or you can do Instagram Live, whatever it may be, right? Automations, ZapierMake.com, right? Very easy. They are very straightforward to the point. They're not going to overcomplicate you, obviously, provided you are putting in the effort to learn how to build these workflows. Now, if you want an AI voice or chat agent, whether it be over the phone or DM, Vappy, VoiceFlow, GHL, these are all great to start with. And like I said, once you get some money rolling in, you can pay for more premium versions. You can research about more powerful softwares and invest in them. And that's where it gets even better and even better and your value goes up. But this all total costs are under $100 a month, right? $100 a month. Basically a price of a cup of coffee a day, right? So what is the path you can take today? Start manual. You need to understand what you're doing. ChatGPT is great, right? But if you don't understand it, you ain't going to sell it, right? Validate fast, fail fast, get feedback, learn. The quicker you do that, the quicker you're going to figure out a successful method, right? And automate it all later, right? So the first couple months of you building a tech agency, business, or whatever it may be, you actually need to start manual because otherwise you're not going to understand the process of an automation, right? Of a workflow. Focus on real, okay? Oh, focus on a real painful problem, right? Listen, we all have great ideas, right? We will come up and we're like, oh yeah, this is the next Apple. This is the next. Listen, you don't need to be some unicorn company, right? You just need to fix a small problem. Those mundane problems that people just hate, right? That's what you need to fix. This is the problem you need to fix, right? And then charge for your solution. Even if it's a scrappy little mismatched, right? Because now you sign a client and then you're getting feedback on how it's working with another person. And then you release more value because you keep improving over time and over time and over time. Next thing you know, they are a lifetime customer because they started from this scrappy little automation that did help them, but now they've got this entire back end that is so valuable to them they can't even drop it, right? So there's an impression that a lot of people get that it has to be a perfect, well-built system that's going to blow their mind. It's like, okay, cool. Yeah, sure, you will get to that point, but it doesn't really matter, right? As long as it fills that void and even if it's 20%, like it relieves 20% of that pain that person has and you can solve that, you can charge for it, right? Next point is that you don't need to be techie, you just need to be valuable, right? I'm not a techie guy. I don't know how to code, right? I'd learned the basics of automation, and you just need to realize your strengths, right? For me, I'm good with people, right? I'm good at managing things. I don't know shit about this tech world, but I like helping people. I like solving those solutions. I like systems, and I like building those systems and implementing those systems, right? So with that, I need to be valuable. I do need to understand what I'm talking about, right? So educate yourself constantly. But yes, you don't need to be a techie geek that knows every language of code, right? So my final points, bootstrapping. It is slower, right? But it is more freedom, right? That profit is 100% yours. That equity is 100% yours, right? You own it, no pitching, no equity loss, right? Now imagine you get 100K investment from, an investor. They taking 30%, right, of your business. And what are they doing? They're just giving you money. They probably don't even know what or how your business works, right? So the final thing is take action today. Speed. Fail faster. I keep saying this because it's so fucking important. Take action today, not someday, not tomorrow, not next year, no New Year's resolution, not I'll start Monday, I'll start next week, start today. Educate yourself, right? So I don't like saying this, but I have to because Manscaped is trying to make money, So do like, comment your ideas, and subscribe for more deep dives. This is just the beginning, right? Now, if you want, I'll put a link down for my WAP community. This is where it's kind of like a light version of how my business runs. I'm just sharing insane